I bought my first pressure cooker when I was 20. So you do the math. It was over 40 years ago, okay? All right. So I was so intimidated by it that I finally gave it away because I never used it. About a month ago, I finally bought one. I still haven't used it. And I thought, because I'm afraid of it, and I thought, who can I get to help me debunk the myth about the pressure cookers? I want to learn how to cook in it. It's half the time. It's wonderful for braising meats. I'm told that all the finest restaurants use this, but I'm afraid. And basically, Dan Kohler, I'm afraid of the lid exploding in my face. Now, and I found something on YouTube. Let me just share it with all of you. Please, let's look at it now.
Oh, thank you.
This is a gentleman in a restaurant, and they have a pressure cooker there, and this is what happened, okay? I mean, this is just like beyond.
Gosh.
Okay,
Wow.
Now, I don't know if that is like a restaurant-style one that went off, but I have heard of people using these in the home, and they actually explode. Why is this happening? Help me. Help me get rid of my fear.
Okay, the first thing I want to say, though, for everyone at home is that, for the most part, really, the pressure cookers you've got, these are safe contraptions. It's all about understanding what's happening inside. So the thing that we saw in that restaurant, pressure cookers that sit on top of a stove can explode more easily because they don't have controlled heat. Both of the models we have right here are electric models, so they've got an automatic shutoff. They've got so many safety precautions built into them that you really don't have to be afraid of them anymore. That being said, older pressure cookers definitely can explode, especially if it's a stovetop variety that you need to keep an eye on.
Ooh.
Telling you.
Gotta go.
He's hiding. Oh, don't. You're gonna be. Don't worry.
What's happening?
You got him scared.
I know. I don't blame you. I'm going with you.
All right. He doesn't save any of us. Yeah. Just himself.
Now,
Get low.
I just cooked my very first meal in a pressure cooker. Everybody is having an Osso Buco with risotto right now. I cooked the Osso Buco in here. Normally, it takes me about 4.5 hours. In my cookbook, it's 4.5 hours, but this only took 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
That's all. That's as far as I got, and I haven't taken the lid off of this yet, so I'm going to do it for the first time on the air. Okay, explain to us the advantages now of a pressure cooker.
So, I mean, the prime advantage is what you just said. This is going to cook things in not even half the time, maybe 1/3 of the time. So 45 minutes for Osso Buco, which has a lot of connective tissue. It needs a lot of time to break down. And here's what's happening inside here.
Okay.
When we put water in here, we put any liquid, and we shut the lid, and it seals tightly. Slowly, that water comes to a boil, and when water boils, it turns to steam, right?
Right.
Well, when that steam has nowhere to go, which in a closed system, it has nowhere to go, it starts to fight against the walls. It starts to fight against the roof. And as more steam is created, it actually builds pressure in there. And so that pressure is pushing outward the entire time, but it's also pressing down and through your food. So it cooks rice, in 6 to 10 minutes because the steam is going through the grain as opposed to just surrounding it. Now, the other interesting thing that happens here with the pressure cooker, the liquid that's inside, as the pressure grows, as the steam is starting to bounce around, it's also pressing down on the remaining liquid, which means that it takes more energy for that liquid to continue to boil. So water normally boils at 212 degrees, but as the pressure increases, it needs even more energy to heat up, so it actually starts boiling at 250 degrees. That increased temperature also is one of the reasons that things cook in nearly 1/3 of the time.
Now, you were talking about the safety features. This is there's nothing in here, but there is something about the rim that you told us. I did not know, and I think everybody should know.
There are a couple things you want to look out for. Most modern cookers right now, they've got multiple air release valves. So we've got right down here, this is a pressure sensitive release valve. First, it pressurizes and closes when the steam starts to hit it because we actually want to keep pressure in there. Now, if the pressure gets too high, it compresses even more and releases that steam. So it's a safe zone. Now, the other thing you want to make sure
this is what fascinates
This is what's interesting.
Me. What is this?
So this rubber gasket is actually, to me, this is the key to a pressure cooker. This is what seals the lid to the bottom here. And if you don't have this rubber gasket in place, steam would escape. So what you want to always check is that this thing is shiny, a little bit flexible, and not dry at all. If it starts to look chalky or dry, it can crack, and that's when steam escapes. And when steam escapes, we lead to explosions. Right. So this is the sort of thing you want to clean, and you want to make sure there's no food debris in there
every time you use it.
Yeah, every time you use it, I just pull that out.
Okay. Time of truth. I'm
Time to cook.
Okay. Now, what do I do?
So I'm just going to put my hand over here. There's a release valve.
Okay.
Will you join me in this?
Yeah, I will.
We'll
all right.
Pretend you.
You put a towel over it?
Yeah, I'll put a towel over
Whoa,
here.
what am I gonna get?
Yeah, go in between there. We're going to slide forward a little bit.
Oh, look at that.
There we go.
Grant,
There we go.
a little bit.
We're just releasing some of that steam.
Okay, I see that.
Now you see, the great thing about a pressure cooker, it actually is keeping you safe. It will not open until this is a depressurized system.
Does it smell good?
So once
you have to wait for
you have to wait for the steam because you actually can't open the lid. If there's too much pressure, it's locked. It's pressure locked.
I used to cook back in the day.
Yeah.
But back in the Midwest, we would roast chicken. Same thing, but it was pressurized grease, which that'll unnerve you.
There you go.
But the chicken was amazingly juicy.
It's so
and
tender.
cooked like that.
Okay, well, we have to wait for this so maybe when
Oh, he's blowing off a little steam.
I'm going to go over here. So we have to wait, though, for the steam.
There we go. It's
How do you know?
Is it ready?
Oh, here, let me.
it needs a little more to come
a
out.
little more.
A little
Okay.
bit more. Anyway, back to my cooking days. But it
I have some risotto
was
here that we
amazing
made.
how much that so many people come to the restaurant.
Yeah.
So the restaurant, you had a restaurant?
Well, the restaurant that I worked at. But they would come specifically for the roasted chicken because it was so juicy. Have you ever had roasted chicken?
Is that broiled and roasted at the same time?
No, it's oil. It's like that, but pressurized grease.
But they call
and
it
you would,
roasted.
And you
Okay,
close
what
it
do I
and
just
seal
pull it up?
You can just lift that right off now.
Oh, look at that. Oh, wait
There
a
you go.
minute. Oh, my gosh. Look how beautiful this is. Oh, and it's fall off
Oh my
the
gosh.
bone.
Oh my gosh.